Students, class 12th, I am Avnash Lambert, your economics teacher, and welcome to the online tutorial sessions for economics. Today we are going to continue with our second chapter, which is basic concepts of macroeconomics. Today we are going to learn about the concept of net indirect taxes. Now, what are net indirect taxes? It's a very simple thing. Net indirect taxes refers to the difference between indirect taxes and subsidies. Net indirect taxes is the difference between indirect taxes and subsidies. Is that clear? Now, what are indirect taxes? Indirect taxes refers to those taxes which are imposed by the government, on whom? On production of goods and services. These are those taxes which are imposed by the government on the production of goods and services. For example, goods and service tax. The GST, the most popular GST, that's the example of indirect tax. Now, what are subsidies? Subsidies are also known as financial assistance, the financial help. Now, what are subsidies? The economical assistance, the financial help given by the government to the firms, to the producers, and also to the households for general welfare, so that they can have some welfare. The society, the households can have some benefits from that help. For example, in India, we get subsidies on the LPG. Our prices are little bit cut off by the government. The government helps us with the financial assistance, that is subsidies. So you understand what is net indirect taxes? Net indirect taxes means the difference between indirect taxes and subsidies. What are indirect taxes? They are the GST, those taxes which are imposed by the government on the production of goods and services. This is imposed on the producers or consumers for the production of goods and services. Is that clear? Now, what are subsidies? Subsidies are the financial helps. Is that clear? Now, factor cost. What is factor cost? It refers to the amount paid to factors of production. What are factors of production? Land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, for their contribution in the production. The land, the labor, the capital and entrepreneur, they all contribute, they all work together for the production, for the process of production. Is that clear? Refers to the amount, the total amount which is paid, to the land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. What are the payments? Rent, wages, salary, interest and profit. If you combine all these things, then that amount which is paid for the factors of production, for their contribution in the production process, that is known as factor cost. For example, cost of producing one speaker. If a producer is manufacturing a speaker, one speaker costs rupees 500 for the producer, for the firm, then that 500 rupees is the factor cost. Understood? If the firm is producing one speaker and the total cost incurred by the producer is 500, then 500 rupees is the factor cost of one speaker. Is that clear? That's an example. Now, what is market price? Market price refers to the price at which product is actually sold. This is the price for producing. This is the cost of producing. But this is the actual price at which that product is being sold. It refers to the price at which product is actually sold in the market. Now, the same speaker whose cost of production was 500, the same speaker is sold in the market at 540 rupees. Now, what's this 40 rupees extra? That is the net indirect tax. Net indirect taxes has been added to the market price of the speaker. Now, with these things we can say, we can calculate the formula, we can determine the formula of market price. We can say that if we add indirect taxes and subsidies with the factor cost, if we add net indirect taxes, or we can say if we add indirect taxes minus subsidies to the factor cost, we can have market price. What is the difference between factor cost and market price? The basic difference between factor cost and market price is that in the market price, the net indirect taxes are included, and under factor cost there is no net indirect taxes included. Under market price, NIT is there, net indirect taxes. So if we add NIT in the factor cost, we get the value of market price. Is that clear? For calculating market price, what do? We add net indirect taxes in the factor cost. We add net indirect taxes in the factor cost. And how do we calculate net indirect taxes? We calculate net indirect taxes by the difference between indirect taxes and subsidies. Is that clear? I think this is very easy concept and it's clear to all of you. So, in the further chapters, in the next chapter, you will get to know, you will have to calculate the market price or factor cost. So, if you have the market price of that product and you are asked to calculate the factor cost of that product, then what you have to do? You have to deduct the net indirect taxes. If you deduct the net indirect taxes from market price, you will get the factor cost. And if you are asked to calculate the market price from the factor cost, suppose factor cost is given and you need to calculate the market price. Suppose factor cost is 10 rupees and net indirect taxes is 5 rupees, and you have to calculate the market price. You remember what is the difference between factor cost and market price? The difference between market price and factor cost is the net indirect taxes. If we add this NIT, this net indirect taxes, to the factor cost, we will get the market price. Market price will be 15 rupees. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now, there is one question, there are two questions which we will do so that we can move to the further topics. You have to calculate net indirect tax. Indirect taxes are given and subsidies are given. You have to calculate the net indirect taxes. What you can do? What is the formula for net indirect taxes? The formula of net indirect taxes is indirect taxes minus subsidies. So what are the indirect taxes? They are 0. And what are the subsidies? 100. What will be the answer? Rupees minus 100. Fine. Minus 100 will be the net indirect taxes. Minus rupees 100 is the net indirect taxes. Now one more question. Indirect taxes are rupees 250. Subsidies are rupees 200. Now you have to calculate the net indirect taxes. What is the formula for net indirect taxes? Indirect taxes minus subsidies. What are the indirect taxes? Those are 250. What are the subsidies? 200. What will be the net indirect taxes? Net indirect taxes will be rupees 50. Is that clear? Now you all know what is net indirect taxes. So stay home and stay safe.